Hello and welcome to the Midnight Happy Hour with Monk and Lou, UFC Vegas 84 edition. First card of January 2024. We've had a couple of weeks off, Lou, and if you're like me, you've been doing nothing but entering data for 3 weeks straight. Is that so? How
Well,
has your break been?
Well, I have a new hobby we'll talk about shortly that I've
Nice.
occupied my time with. But
Yes, it's seeped into my life as well.
yeah, holidays were good. New Year's was just at this point in my life stage, it's just can I stay up till midnight?
Right.
And I had sports, I had soccer, I had NFL, but nothing gets me more jazzed than a fight day. Got to be honest. So
Yes, sir.
I'm
We
excited to
are
talk
back.
fights with my boy Monk. I'm excited for our people in the chat. Hope you guys all had a happy and healthy New Year. And my new hobby, of course, which we'll talk about later. And I see Pepe's in the chat now. As somebody who loves mug shorties, I've evolved into these body cam videos from the police. And I got you watching them. I got other people watching them. And like, they get better and better and better. And there's always a twist. And it's fucking hilarious, especially like we're past the minute mark. So I can curse now.
Yeah.
But the last one that I showed you with this older black guy, and he's like so polite. He's laughing with the cop. He's like, I'm always going to be honest with you. And then it turns out it's a 7th DUI.
He only had one beer though, Lou. He only had one.
And then he asks for a lawyer after being nice and completely turns on the cops. He's resistant. He's telling him he's got a knife up his ass. He's telling the guy to grab his dick. He's telling him all this shit. And like, then
Kick me in the face.
And the best is when he says to the guy, the cop's like, I need to turn around. And he goes, I'm not. He goes, well, what we got here is a Mexican fucking standoff. It's tremendous. But
oh, so good.
Got my guy Subhuman, my soccer dudes in the chat, Pepe. He pissed his pants for driving. I mean, that's a Tuesday for me.
Pepe, give me your badge and name number. Give me your badge and name number.
He knows.
That's my favorite quote.
I only have 2 overs for tomorrow, but it's Eerste Vida. It's Netherlands League 2 soccer day on Friday.
Oh, there you go.
It's great that it's on Rusev Day. That's all I can say. But
every day is fucking Rusev Day.
Let's say hello to our chat. We got Jenna here. We got from across the pond, a lot of ponds. Kiwi in the chat. Got our girl Kristen giving out hockey picks now. Go follow her on Twitter. We got FD Crusader. My guy Prince the Mischief. Of course, we got Pepe. And we got Subhuman. No Big Steve yet. He's clearly too busy. He's doing some cool stuff, by the way. He's got a YouTube short that he like worked on the way he's doing it. It's actually
YouTube
really
shoddy?
neat. What's that?
YouTube shoddy?
Yeah, YouTube shoddy. from the makers of mug shotties. It's Steve Shoddy.
Let's
go.
Let's fucking do it. First fight of the night. And I don't know what the chronic comp. Do you think Felipe Bunes looks like fucking Tony Kelly? Because I just don't see it. I don't know what those guys are.
I'm starting to think that both of them are legally blind.
I'm legally blind. Speaking of people being pulled over by the police, PPP holding it down against Joshua Van. Minus 170 doesn't go. Plus 140 does go. Minus 250 for Van. Plus 210 for Bunes. Why don't you start us off here? I know where you're going to go, and I'm probably echoing your sentiments.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are steaming Van and parlaying them, and I just, I can't at this price. I'm not going to talk you off betting Felipe Bunes. Like, I'm not. If he gets his grappling going, I think he's going to have a real edge here. But Van's young. He's improving. We've seen this before time and time again. We see young fighters exponentially improving every time we see him. The one bet that I like here, and it's a little juiced, but not as juiced as I thought it would be, is over 1.5 minus 175. Van's been pretty durable, and he's a slow starter. And I think the first round of this fight can be Bunes just going for takedowns or just cage control, getting him against the side of the cage, trying to get him down. Van keeping it upright for minutes and minutes, chewing up the clock. I don't think Van will get his boxing going immediately. As the fight goes on, we'll see. Van's cardio is pretty good. He's shown good durability. If he's going to get Bunes out of there, it would be late. I'm actually surprised the under 2.5 was minus 150. I was really surprised at that. I don't know. So I like the over 1.5 at minus 175 here quite a bit. And it's a nice parlay piece. But if you have to take a side, I'd take the dog here at this price. I think it's crazy. A guy that could have grappling upside here could easily win the first round against a slow starter. Give me a guy that can give me 1 round up at 2-1 odds.
For sure, you know.
Slide for me, just a total.
Dude, anytime I see Joshua Van, I always think of that Shane Gillis joke, the roast where he was roasting Big J Ogerson. He goes, "Big J, you look like a member of Van Halen." The Van? You look like a fucking van, dude. That's my favorite fucking thing ever. So yeah,
Shane Gillis, the pride of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna go with Felipe Bunes here for DraftKings. I mean, he's $7,400. His path to victory involves some high scoring methods, mainly his wrestling, hopefully some top time, and possibly even some ground and pound. So we haven't seen much of that out of Joshua Van. However, he did land 2 takedowns against Kevin Borges, so we did see that, but he only ended up with 7% control time over 15 minutes, so he didn't do much with those at all. Not really expected to, not really his game. And then, of course, he beat Chalgis Chamagulov before that, or Chamagulov before that. So, yeah, not too impressed with his wins. I agree with you. He is a good-looking prospect. But, you know, if he beats Bunes here, then I'll jump back on the Van wagon. See what I did there? But for now, I'm going to pick Bunes for the upset at 7,400. I just think his path to victory, you know, scores pretty well. So give me a shot on Mr. Joshua Bunes. Look like a fucking van, dude. Tom Nolan taking on Nicholas Mata. Don't change the channel. Don't adjust your dial. It is minus 1,200 for a guy with 6 professional fights. Does not go to decision.
Can I adjust the dial for the whiteness?
Yeah, for the color. Adjust the hue. The hue. Yeah. Plus 650. It's a fuck. They always do this when they post the Dana White Contender Series pictures. That's what they post for that. Like a bunch of ghosts and shit. Plus 650 does go. Minus 350 for the guy with 6 fights. Plus 285 for the guy that's been finished 6 times. Probably not 6 times, but it's pretty damn close at this point. I'm going to pick Tom Nolan. I mean, I'm not putting any money on this. I'll play Tom Nolan in GPPs. I'm not putting him in cash lineups, and I'll play a little bit of Moda at 7K. He's a decent punt play. I mean, the guy scores 1.4 points a minute, and when he won, he ended up with 109 points. So, hey, that was against Cameron Van Camp. I think even Andre Fiallo beat Cameron Van Camp, if I'm not mistaken. So, you put points on Tom Nolan's fight, he would have scored 1,000,000 points a minute and 117 per win. So, I'm just going with how terrible Nicholas Mata has looked. He should have dropped his last 2. Everybody knows he lost to Trey Ogden. So give me Tom Nolan. I am not confident. As I said, no experience here from Big Train Tom Nolan. Yeah, that's his nickname, Lou.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to take Mata just the price against the newcomer, but the Miller knockout, I don't even care about that. I mean, Miller is still a very skilled mixed martial artist. I don't really care about the Cameron Van Camp win because he stinks. I don't care about the Manuel Torres loss because like Torres hits like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
But the Ogden fight was just an whole,
yeah.
Like he now looks like he doesn't want to fight. And there's no price you can give me on him. I mean, Nolan round 1 is almost feels like it's such a square play here, but I imagine Nolan only has to crack him once, and Mata's going to look for it. He doesn't even have to hit him flush. I think if he hurts Mata at all, he's going to be looking for the door. I think at this point, Mata just is kind of playing out his contract. This is the last fight on his contract too, so I think I think he's done. And
this is a make it spot for Tom Nolan. Then
this is your 1988 wrestling superstars 10 a.m. like squash. This is your squat jobber to the stars squash match. FD Jones against King Kong Bundy.
Yeah, there you go. I'm just noticing his tattoo. Is that a train? Over on his left? It looks like a train. That's
I'm American, so I don't know.
A lot of train related UFC fighters. We had when I was in UFC Austin, Jared Gooden beat Wellington Turman, and he said "choo choo, motherfucker." So and now we've got Big Train Tom Nolan here. I don't know what's going on. One of these guys has to have a train set in their basement.
We need somebody.
Who do you think it is, chat?
We need a nickname of like Run Train. Like, so
yeah.
Dude, Mata looks like doesn't even want to fight in this picture you put up.
No, I know. That's what I was going to say.
He doesn't even want to be on the screen right now.
Whose head is bigger compared to their body? Is it Nicholas Mata? Is it Farid Basharat? who we'll see in a minute, or is it Andrei Arlovsky at this age? Because
By
he's
the
got a
way,
motherfucking pumpkin head.
I feel like we're gonna need a countdown every week to Cody Brundage versus Bo Nickel.
Oh yeah, we should do that.
As that's like the Sophie's choice of Lou's fights. I mean,
Mug shotties.
that's the Sophie's choice of you're taking my sons and making them fight.
Right.
But one of them actively DMs me about it, and one of them doesn't.
Right.
So, Cody round 1 system play. But we'll get there in April.
Oh, Kiwi, you're my favorite. I choose him. Shout out Ralph, man. You can see the second, the moment his heart broke in half. Next fight. How do you like them apples, dude? How do you like them? That's pretty fucking good, dude. I don't care what you say. That is my best work yet.
You know what he looks like? If you gave him a gold chain, he looks like every contestant on the challenge ever.
I should have given him a gold
Corey,
chain.
like Nelson, like Fessy, like every fucking one of those dudes in the challenge that wears, they all wear the black turtleneck and the gold necklace. That's what Gene Silva is right now.
That's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. I spent more than 10 minutes on that, but less than 11. Gene Silva, Lord Assassin Gene Silva, put some respect on his nickname, taking on Weston Wilson. Look at him, who leaning back like he doesn't even want to be here. You thought minus 1,200 was a line. Minus 1,400 doesn't go. Plus 700 does go. Minus 900 for the UFC debutant. Plus 6 for Weston Wilson, and the most expensive fighter on the card. Lou, start us off. Tell us why Weston Wilson's going to win this fucking thing.
There's only one thing that matters about this fight. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who Weston Wilson's last loss was to before the Brito fight?
Not off the top of my head.
The greatest fighter in UFC history, Teruto Ishihara. Ishihara, aka the guy that won in Utah and said, "Where are my Salt Lake City bitches?" And that was his whole post-fight interview. He wanted Lady Whore Party.
Yeah.
His words. And then he posted pictures on social media like, "I found my bitches." See, Ishihara also, strangely enough, Ishihara also had a recent victory over the other GOAT, Willie Whoop-Ass Gates.
Yes.
Weird shit.
Should have put a chain on him. He would have looked like The Rock in that picture. I really fucked up, guys.
So look, there's no way to bet Silva. There's no way to do it. So I saw a Couch Warrior. And this is the only way I think you can play this fight or just pass it. He did a little contrarian action. I think he did fight to start round 2 and got plus 200. If you want to be contrarian here, I think maybe that's okay. But Wilson, dude, most of his fights, like he has no defense. But Silva's not that good. And Silva is not the kind of fighter that should be minus 900 over anybody. But Wilson's not UFC caliber. Wilson's probably not LFA caliber. I can't play him. I really hope John Stargarian was going to bet him. I need that John special, but he's like, no. So he's like, I don't think the line should be wider. I'm like, oh, okay.
Jesus.
So it's a pass for me. If you want to be cute and play time props, I'd be curious when you're breaking it down, there's a number I'm curious about here. If we're going to get some kind of bizarre line. Okay. So the Silva under 1.5 is minus 360. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what. I mean, this is so fucking ridiculous. Over half a round is minus 220. That's it.
Wow.
Under half a round is plus 165.
Oh, interesting.
That's on DraftKings. It's an alt total. I mean, again, if you want to get cute with this fight, I think that's the only way to play it. Just don't play this fight. This fight will be at 5 p.m. Eastern. So it's like the first quarter of the Browns-Texans playoff game. Just go watch the first quarter of the game. Go watch some plays. Go watch CJ Stroud do some Stroud shit. Go watch Flacco be awesome. All that.
There you go. Yeah, I'm picking Gene Silva. Obviously, I'm not picking Weston Wilson. But that said, Gene Silva, I mean, even with the fire nickname, $9,600, guys. If you put DWCS scoring or DraftKings scoring on his Dana White Contender Series fight, he only scored 70 points in a 3-round decision against Kevin Vallejos. 87 strikes landed, 1 takedown, 1% control time. Not impressive there. I do like that he's training. He's coming out of Fight Nerds. I mean, that's obviously where Kyle Bahayo trains, like that. Other than that, though, I mean, normally, yeah, I just can't put anything on Weston Wilson. I mean, come on, guys. What are we talking about here? It's Gene Silva. I'm probably going to try to be under the, well, Jesus, man, under. I'll probably be at field weight to him. I mean, I can't go over because he's so expensive. And if I go under, he's going to finish Weston Wilson in 1 minute. And you're going to miss out on like 120 points. So probably just at least go field weight, I'd say. If you have a real good feeling about this, throw him in more. But he's a little expensive for me. I think he gets the win. Not much more to say about the black turtleneck, John Silva. Farid Basharat, look at the size of that. Look at the size of that head. Taylor Lapilus, plus 180 fight doesn't go. Minus 220 fight does go. Minus 280 for half of the Bash Brothers. Plus 240 for Lapilus. 8,900, 7,300. I like Farid Basharat here, although I was on the Wednesday night show, and to my surprise, all three of those guys had a lot more confidence, we'll just say, in Taylor Lapilus than I do personally. I thought Farid, is probably going to get his wrestling game going. It's probably going to be a relatively straightforward decision win was my thought process. The guy scores almost 4 points a minute, scores very well, 111 against Rodriguez, 81 against Blackshear. Not great, but that was his debut. Lapilus has one fight basically since 2016, and that was against newcomer Colin Loughran. 3-round decision, scored 64 points. So we're really unimpressed overall with Taylor Lapilus's ability to score points. So immediately I'm not looking for him. Give me Farid Basharat. No, unfortunately not. Farid Ferocious. Although Taylor Lapilus, his nickname Double Impact, Lou. Who was in Double Impact? Do you remember?
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Come on, JCVD, brother.
Indeed. So yeah, give me Farid Basharat. I just don't know if he scores well, but for us, that's good because he's only $8,900. Let's kick it over to you and we'll show easy the Jean Silva picture.
So I know a lot of people on Lapilus this week, and I wanted to take Lapilus at least on the plus 3.5 line. It was plus 105 earlier in the week. Now it's minus 115 on BetOnline. I think DK is minus 120. Here's my problem. And this is the last one that I really don't have a strong take on betting wise. I think the line, it looks wide when you look at it. The thing is I'm higher on the Basharat brothers than I think a lot of people are. They've been good to me. I like their fight IQ. I like their process. They're this is an iron sharpens iron kind of family. Dude, Basharat last fight against Kledson, he just ran through him. Super impressive. The thing with Lapilus, and this is not a knock on Lapilus because he can only fight the guys in front of him, and I think he's good. This Colin Loughran fight, Loughran offered 0 on the feet.
Yeah.
And Lapilus's takedown defense is good, but a lot of these guys he's defending takedowns against have no striking. So I feel that it's a lot easier to prep and to defend takedowns when you're not worried about anything coming back in your face, just throwing strikes. So I think Basharat's pretty good on the feet. I think he's definitely good enough. I like the way he uses the strikes to set up his entries. I think he controls a lot of cage time here. I don't think Lapilus is really going to be able to get a lot off. So I think Basharat wins. I think Basharat decision. It's another square play here. I'm not thrilled about betting it. I may throw Basharat. I think this prop is, I think it's awful. Probably even money if that. It's 130 minus 135. No, thank you. But Basharat decisions to pick. It's a weird. I don't know if I love this matchup either because I like Lapilus is kind of decent. He's well rounded. But he's not super exciting, I guess. Knocking out Nate Maness is okay. It happens, but you're on mute, you rookie. That's the first show of the year, but you're on mute.
I'm leaving this up till you do it.
Yeah. Well, I told you I can't do the imitation because
you can't even. Oh,
Taylor Lapilus more like Raisin Balls, Jabroni Virgil.
There you go. Perfect.
By the way, for a dead guy, Iron Sheik's tweeting a lot.
Yeah, that's true. Isn't that weird how that works?
Also, my favorite thing is whenever he would put up bets, it would be he'd tag Bovada. Of all sports books, tags Bovada. Like,
Hey,
why?
he's a loyal guy. Bovada Bubba. That's all I use. Marcus McGee. Timeless. Look at that guy. How old is he? No one knows.
I
Gaston
just saw a
Bolaños.
video with him.
You just minus
I just
215
saw a video of him getting a DUI.
plus 175 minus 214 for Marcus McGee plus 184 for Bolaños. 9100 71 for Gaston. You go ahead and start this one off.
This is a
What is
tricky
dead
fight.
may never die.
This is a tricky fight because I like a lot of McGee's regional tape. I do. I like he doesn't leave himself as open on counters as people like. They're like, oh, he's so hittable. I don't know about that. The problem is how much stock do you take from beating Journey Newsom on, like, I think he was on short notice, and beating JP Bays, who like fucking sucks. So, like, I mean, I'm saying is, like, I don't know how much stock I take in these. Bolaños is okay, hits really hard. I think if this is a 15-minute on the feet striking match, the line's too wide. That's what I think. The problem is, and I think everybody this week has kind of agreed this, Bolaños' takedown defense is absolutely fucking awful. So if he doesn't one-punch McGee out, and I don't think he will, I think McGee's chin is better than that, and McGee actually decides to implement some grappling, he's going to, I mean, I see people playing the sub, want to play the sub prop. It's like plus 275-ish. It's not worth it. I think McGee, and it's even money in the distance. I kind of think McGee just gets him down and bounds about at some point. But I think Bolaños, I hope they give him another fight after this against like a guy that just doesn't go for takedowns. Like, give him a guy that just like, I want to just box for 15 minutes. And then Bolaños is going to have tons of success in those kind of fights. This is a fight where McGee like can grapple. And like I said, if it's getting hairy on the feet, may grapple. So I like McGee in the distance here. Haven't decided if I'm playing it or if I'm going to get cute and play like McGee 2-3 or some shit.
But, yeah, I don't mind that.
But I think Bolaños is it's just this glaring hole in his game, like so bad.
Yeah, and Marcus McGee hits hard as fuck too. So, I mean, I think one of these guys is going to get finished. I'm leaning with you though. I'm on the Marcus McGee side. 9100. It's an interesting price. It is a lot of money, and 7100 is not a lot of money for a possible KO on the Bolaños side. But I think McGee might go a little bit under the radar. So at the 9K price or 91,000 or 9.1K price point, there we go. I think he's going to go a little under owned, and I think you can maybe get a little bit of leverage there because if he does finish him even in 2 or 3, I think he could score pretty well. He put up 102.9 against JP Bays, and he put up 91 against Journey Newsom. So he's going to need more than 91 at 9100, but the chance is there. Like you said, huge hole for Bolaños, and that wrestling path definitely can score well, especially with a guy like Marcus McGee, who you assume is going to throw a ton of ground and pound. So we love to see that for DraftKings. Next fight. Here we go.
Can I just put this up since people are talking about the Sheik in chat? This is the kind of shit. This is the kind of shit that he'd tweet. He'd be like, the Cody from the Red Lobster served cheeky artichoke dip. I order steak, not the, and then I can't say some of the words that he writes on
all
the
the
show,
words.
but
Yeah.
You know, like a gay slur, and then like the, you know, and fuck the Cody.
Yeah. Lots of things Iron Sheik threatens.
Like whoever ran his Twitter account is like GOAT level at engagement.
So good. Yeah, for sure. Speaking of GOAT level, I mean, what's happening with Semmelsberger's hair here? Matt Semmelsberger, Preston Pressure Parsons, minus 175 doesn't go, plus 145 does go. Very close money line, minus 116 to plus 104, and the DraftKings salary reflects that as well. Although I think the line's close enough now to where there is some line value here on Preston Parsons. So we do love to see that. I'm actually going to pick Parsons, my second dog of the night, straight up. I'm going to pick I can't even say it now. I'm going to pick Preston Pressure Parsons to get it done here against Semmelsberger. Semmelsberger always, you know, generally well, at least in the last fight, he came out kind of hot against Uros Medic, did some damage for at least 7-8 minutes, but it was after that 7 or 8 minute mark, he kind of slowed down a lot, and Uros Medic was able to recover and actually get the finish there in the 13th minute over Semmelsberger. So yeah, Parsons also looked pretty good against Officer Giles, 50 points in a loss. And if you just go off statistics, that fight was extremely close. And Parsons actually had more offense than Giles did in the end. And before that, he won against Evan Elder, 108 DraftKings points. He did lose his debut fight against the guy that is undefeated in the streets and in prison, 200-0, Daniel Rodriguez. But what can you do about that? So give me Preston Parsons here to get it done. Hopefully late in the fight or even a decision win would be fantastic. I don't know what Lou has for this one. I don't know if he's frozen or there. Oh, there we go. He's back. Oh, I see what's happening.
I need another beer.
There we go. What do you got for this one? You got the fucking, is that even a mullet? I don't even know what to call it, man.
Oh, I thought you were asking what beer I was drinking.
Yeah, well, what do you got?
My beer's called Good Beer.
Oh, nice.
This is Southern Tier.
I need something cold. It was 70 in Texas today, dude. I'm sorry for the shiny head. It's fucking hot.
Oh, 70?
70, bro. You know what? The low is going to be like 12 in 4 days. So it's all over the place. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. So we disagree on this one, but I don't love it. And I have a prop for this. So it's not even a great price, but Semmelsberger around 1K is plus 400. Look, man, the guy drops everybody. I don't like Parsons' chin. So I'm going to pick Semmelsberger to get it done early. I'm not even going to break this one down a ton. I think Parsons is all right. He's kind of like, he's going to be like a good, we're talking about jobbers. He's like the tier up from jobber. He's like he's like Coco Beware of like the tier. Like, he's going to beat out the other jobbers. And I think Semmelsberger has a glaring hole in terms of stopping takedowns and like getting control of the ground. I got this. Like he cracked Wells twice and still ended up on his back like a lot.
Yep.
So it's interesting, but I think that Wells is tough. I don't like Parsons' chin. D-Rod like just blast, and he was on short notice, and I think he was up a weight class for that. So like I'll give him a pass, but like D-Rod just blasted him like twice and he was done. And I think that Semmelsberger hits hard enough for like. I'd like to think they're going to go back to tape on the Uros Medic fight and look at the fact that he got a knockdown the first, and then he kind of didn't know what to do.
Yep.
And he went on the ground with him, and he let Medic recover. If he doesn't do that, he probably wins in the first round. He probably gets him out of there. And this has been like kind of, what do you mean sometimes? It's like my whole, dude, I'm plus 33 units last year. It's all because of bets like this and tattoos and like chest hair. That's it. It's the time tested, like, oh, this dude with chest hair that's from Russia is going to beat this other guy. I don't care what the line. Oh, he's a big underdog. Have you seen his chest hair? I don't care.
Yeah, but the other guy's beard doesn't connect. So
it's a fight. Like, he's got chest hair and he's from Russia. Like, that's awesome. He's not really training. He's training. He's drinking vodka. He's fine.
Yeah, with bears.
With Todd Barry and all the fucking Russians from Delocated. So here's the thing. I think Parsons is a really good live bet after one. If he's any kind of reasonable price. But I think if this thing gets extended, Parsons is going to start getting takedowns. His cardio is good. I think Semmelsberger's cardio is fine. But I think as this fight goes on, Parsons can start getting takedowns. I don't think Semmelsberger's not round one or bust. But if he gets a knockdown and he doesn't finish the fight, I don't like any ticket I have involving Semmelsberger. So I like Preston Parsons as a live bet. If you're going to play Parsons, the Parsons decision prop is actually it's plus 350. Like his sub line is bigger than his decision line. I watched this dude squeeze Evan Elder's head for 12 minutes and not get him to sub. Semmelsberger, at least I think, can stay out of trouble just without getting up. Like Wells wasn't really hurting him and doing a ton to get him out of there. If Wells couldn't, I don't see Preston Parsons subbing him. I think if you like Parsons, you play the decision prop. But I'm going to play Semmelsberger like an idiot. And I'm going to hate it. And I know, like, as soon as the walkouts happen, I'm going to be like, why the fuck did I bet Semmelsberger, man? I hope I have a round robin where that's the last leg where I can just immediately bet Parsons and be like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I got money out of this. I don't give a shit. But either Parsons decision or semi-round 1 KO. But Parsons is another good live bet here.
Love it. Love it. Let's keep it moving.
My name's not Matt. I don't know why I'm sharing that.
Waldo Cortez Acosta, Salsa Boy, taking on Andre Arlovsky. Look at the size of that heat. Minus 260 does not go. Plus 200 does go. Minus 750 for Waldo. Plus 550 for Arlovsky. 9,500. Second most expensive fighter on the card, Lou. How do you see this one going?
Man, I hate this fight, dude.
Right?
I love Arlovsky. I'm pretty sure I graduated high school with him. Like, I mean, I love him. His durability is waning. I mean, look, man, the Dontel Mays here. The Dontel Mays KO was, he should have just fucking retired. Like, losing to DeLima round 1 is fine. The way DeLima can run, DeLima has that capability of just running you over. Dontel Mays, man, that's bad. So I don't know how Arlovsky wins this fight. And with Acosta, look, this line is crazy, and I don't want to bet it, and I'm not going to bet it. The one thing that Acosta has shown is he has a vulnerability to leg kicks. Like, DeLima just absolutely kicked the shit out of his leg, and it was there all day. Arlovsky doesn't really throw a lot of leg kicks. Arlovsky doesn't throw a lot of anything. And the other thing we've seen from Acosta is his cardio is really good. Like, he's got a really good cardio for his size. Like, he looks good in the third round. Every time we've seen him in the third round, he's looked fresh. His volume's okay. I mean, could he bonk Arlovsky here? Sure. Like, and he probably does. Do I want to take his in the distance at, the hell is it, 2-1? No, dude, I don't want to lay minus 200 on in the distance prop for a guy that kind of fucked around with some really low tier heavyweights that are not even on this roster anymore. Then he was at Sherman, fucked around with Sherman,
And
he fucked around with Vandera. Like, I mean, and Breshke is like awful. So, like,
right.
I'm just gonna sit back. I'm gonna root for him. Like, I actually think, what's the over 1.5 here? This is another one where, like, I thought this line when I first looked at it was bonkers. Over 1.5 minus 140 isn't crazy. It's because it's not like Acosta's some high volume guy. I know we just not Breshke, but like, oh my god, look at this guy. Look at this guy. This will get you either banned or a big hug. And I love shit like this. I saw Clint post this today too. Like,
yeah,
Acosta's not some like blitz heavyweight who's going to get you out of there. Like, if you're betting the under, you're betting on Arlovsky just being older. And I don't know if Acosta's really that guy. He seems to be patient. Arlovsky seems content just circling and like not really throwing anything. I think this fight could easily go over 1.5 rounds. The problem is, I think it only is going to take Acosta 1 or 2 shots to get Arlovsky out.
Right.
But who knows, man? I don't think Acosta is some like massively skilled. I don't think Dontel Mays is a massively skilled heavyweight either. But I think Arlovsky can at least survive the first, and then you're sweating 2.5 minutes. I don't see any grappling happening in this fight.
No. Maybe some clinch work, but that's about as much grappling.
I mean, Acosta might. Definitely not
Arlovsky,
but like Acosta might if he's working on it. I mean, look, he's still young. He's still growing like into the sport. Like, we've seen guys that like want to play with their grappling and see if like how it is at this level. But I think for the most part, they're going to tell him like, look, man, just crowd him, land the blow, like go work the body and get out of there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there you go. Like, he's, you got my guy Subhuman saying it.
Yep.
I think that I don't, like I said, the grappling's not like completely out of the question. I really don't see it because it's going to be like, look, man, he's older, he's slower, he's not moving as well. Like, just go knock him out. But we'll see.
Yeah,
I have no interest in betting this fight. Like, I'm just going to sit back and root for Arlovsky.
Yeah, he's going to be he'll be 45 in basically February, I think. Yeah, February 4th, he'll be 45 years old. I'm not saying that's old by any means. I'm just saying for a fighter that is not young.
I mean, it's old for a computer programmer. It's very old for
these days.
He is the oldest guy on the roster, right?
Gotta be. Yeah, I think, at this point for sure.
A Linux not, I don't know if he's retired.
He got a win somewhere else recently, I think.
Did he?
I thought so. I thought I saw that.
I gotta look it up. That's awesome.
Ezekiel choked somebody's dad or something.
Somebody's son.
Somebody's son, somebody's dad.
He
who
choked
knows?
out. I love this. He choked out Fernando Rodriguez Jr. at something called RCC 17, Russian Cage Fighting Championship 17, to take his, you ready to this? To take his record to 60, 18, and 1.
Yes.
What a crazy record. Dude.
That's insane.
Dude. And that's like not a padded record.
No.
I mean, it might be. Some of it might be, but we don't care.
What a G. Yeah, there's not much else to say. You nailed it. Give me Waldo Cortez Acosta. 9,500 though. I like him for cash. If you don't want to play John Silva, that's fine. Go ahead and throw Salsa guy in there.
Silva's 9,600, I assume, right?
Yep. So Waldo's the second most expensive fighter on the card. I don't mind it for GPPs, although don't expect him to score a lot of points a lot of the time. Even if it's against Arlovsky. I mean, what did he score against? He beat Lucas Bresky first round, 3 minutes, scored 106 points, man. I don't know if that's going to get it done at 9,500. I mean, it's pretty close, but you kind of need 110.
But how much? How much of it is? I mean, it's 90 for the first round finish, right?
Yeah.
Did he have a knockdown?
If he gets a knockdown, that would be ideal.
10.
But what if? Yeah, right. So we're only at 100.
What I'm saying is, what did he do to get to 106?
Right.
Just like, yeah.
Oh, he landed 15 strikes and a knockdown. 0% control time. So it was all the striking and the knockdown.
I mean, if you're priced in the 8K range, you'll take that all day.
Oh yeah, for sure. But 9,500 though in this economy,
there's a lot
2024.
There's a lot of guys that look like they're in the mid range of this that have some potential for big scores.
Yes, that's what we've been saying on every show, and I'm glad you said it again because everybody is agreeing there. Yeah. Nice.
I mean, dude, I fucking bet Oh, the Yambags fight. Sorry, we went past it already, but it's narrative bags this week. It's Fareed Lapilus. It is Southpaw Orthodox or Switch Orthodox.
Okay.
But we're just coming off a fight with Javid. That was a no contest because he literally broke Victor Henry's dick.
That's true. Are you sure? Because the doctor said he didn't even get kicked in the dick.
Dude, Henry's still like fucking holding his cock,
rolling around in a wheelbarrow.
Dude, I love they were like, that was fake. That's not fake.
Yeah.
And Henry's never like shown any reason.
You didn't even.
Dude, Henry's a tough dude, man. Like,
he kicked me in my whole dick.
So I like narrative. I like narrative bags here.
Love it. Love that.
While we were, props and shit.
The Battle of the Blondes. Bruno Ferreira taking on Phil Hawes. -700 doesn't go. +450 does go. -125 for Bruno with 2 ends. +105 for Phil. 8,300, 7,900. This is my third and final underdog, baby. I am taking Phil Hawes to get it done. I mean, is he or is he not the better fighter all around? I think he is. His chin is just so fucking terrible. Like, what are you supposed to do with that thing? What are you supposed to do with this? This is essentially a 50-50 fight for DraftKings. Put both of them in the GPP lineups. Don't stack it. I mean, separately, put both of them in. And do not play this for cash. But I am picking Phil Hawes. He's actually made the optimal lineup 3 out of his past 6 fights, believe it or not. And his last 3 losses aren't that bad. Chris Curtis, I mean, sorry, I shouldn't even said his name. My guy Roman Delice and
friend of the channel, Curtis.
And Ikram Alaskarov, who a lot of people think is like the next big thing here at middleweight. So give me Phil Hawes chinning Bruno Ferreira before he gets chinned himself. And man, I know DC's probably doing the pay-per-view next week, but can you imagine if he was doing it this week? He'd be in the ring with Phil Hawes after the win. Oh my goodness, round 2. That's what I really want.
He hates Phil Hawes because
I know.
And he kicked this boy's ass.
Yeah, we would get to see it again. We would get to see round 2.
He beat Darren Wynn so bad he fell downstairs before his next fight.
But yeah, give me no hype, Phil Hawes.
Yeah, I mean, I hate that I'm doing this, and I'm gonna bet this.
Yeah,
I'm waiting. I'm still waiting. Like, and this is one where like there's no reason to bet this yet. I'm just waiting until. Oh, you know what's crazy? He never blocked me. He's never blocked me on Twitter.
Well, he's not on Twitter anymore,
and nobody dislikes him more than me. Like, it's crazy. So,
Oh, who's
oh God.
parlaying Bruno Fajeda? Please don't do that. I'm not saying you are, Kiwi. I'm just saying,
So
good
look, it's
God.
hold on. Put up the comment before that. It's the first card of the year. Look, man, Melon and I get along. He tells me his locks, and then I tell him mine, and like I'm on the wrong end of it more often than not. So I'm going to take Phil Hawes here, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to hope that people just steam Ferreira. They steam the KO prop or the in the distance prop. By the way, don't bet his in the distance with Ferreira. Like at this point, it's like 10 cents different. Unless you see like a plus number out there, don't get greedy with the 10 cents, 15 cents. Like there's no reason you want this number. Look, skill for skill, Hawes is like just way better. He's way better than Bruno Ferreira.
Imagine if he lands a takedown.
It's the chin. But there's another angle I have on this thing too. If this thing gets out of the first, how does Ferreira look? Like, I don't think his cardio is good. And, look, you look at his 2 fights in the UFC. If you just want to look at the body of his UFC work, Rodriguez is beating him until he gets caught. It's a great setup, like perfectly timed. I got it. And then his last fight against a dude who we all thought was a fucking fraud. Like all week, we're like, oh, this Ruzibev guy, padded record, he's a fraud.
Right.
And he got fucking cracked by a guy who I don't think is a good striker, like has some wrestling. I think Hawes is like literally, this is like a video game. Hawes has got his ranking, his ratings are better everywhere. It's just its chin. So if you're taking Ferreira, you're betting Ferreira on the fact that he's going to KO Hawes. But I kind of like Hawes here, and I kind of like Hawes. I don't have the balls to do the decision bet, but like I kind of like Hawes. If you can parlay like, here, let me see what this pays. So I'm looking at Hawes and then just over 1 round. So like I think the decision is like weirdly possible. Okay, let's see what this says.
Yeah, that would be kind of wild.
Okay. So this is an interesting bet. Excuse me. It's on DraftKings, it's the same game parlay. Hawes and over 5 minutes is plus 340.
That's a sweat. Super sweat.
Well, the sweatier thing is, but here's the thing. I feel like, and Hawes has some round 1 equity here for sure. But I feel like if this fight escapes the first round, Hawes is going to win this fight. But I don't know that Hawes gets it done early. Also, by the way, I'd be interested to see if Ferreira even tries to grapple here. For people saying like there's no fucking way, because
that would be a mistake, I think.
Okay, but let me posit this, because I've seen this before. A lot of guys that come to the UFC, they're knockout artists. He's coming off his first loss, and it was a bad knockout loss. You see guys coming off bad knockout losses. We don't know how they are mentally. You know what some of these guys do? They try to grapple to avoid keeping their chin in the air. So, at the very least, he may try it. And if he tries to grapple Hawes, he may have success early. I don't think he finishes Hawes on the ground unless he just gets a clean shot on him. And then there goes his cardio.
Right. Exactly.
So, God, I fucking hate. Dude, this is, this is why I was glad we didn't have fights for a month. So I don't have to make these decisions. But like, I'm talking myself more and more into like how much I like it. And I'll just end it on this. If you take Hawes and the bet loses, at least it was quick.
That's true.
He's not getting KO'd in the third. Like,
no.
If he loses, it's like you lost your bet immediately.
Yeah.
So you just move on. It's fine. And I'm assuming like this is like the end of the Cleveland Texans game. So like that fight's a minute, and then you move on, you go watch like the end of that game.
No, you do not move on after you miss the first few plays of the next game and watch this fight. This is the fight I'm most excited for. Ricky Simón, Mario Batista, plus 120. Fight doesn't go minus 150, does go minus 185 as of this afternoon for Simón. 8,600 for him as well. Lou, do you like Simón here, or are you taking the underdog?
I don't want to steal your thunder, and I did not watch the show last night with you, but This has got to, I mean, this is the first card of the year, and this has to be like the DraftKings play of the millennium.
Oh,
Is to play Ricky Simón. Like,
absolutely.
He's going to score 150 in this fight.
Oh, he could. He could. I'm here for it.
Dude, you know what he loves doing? Letting you get up to just give you a mat return over and over and over again, dumping you repeatedly. And sneaky prop, I think he gets a round 3 finish here.
Ooh, love that.
So at like, and you're getting like pretty bonkers odds. You know what? I want to check Bet Parks on this because they get their odds up late, but their odds are all like a little off market. They're like not as good as DraftKings with like how wrong they are.
Mm-hmm.
And don't play don't play any prop here. Like, don't play a method. Ricky Simón plus 1,300 for round 3.
Ooh.
So
round 3 pays better, Lou. Somebody told me that once.
It does. It does pay better. Whoever said that must be handsome.
Pretty smart.
And wearing his new "The Beatings Will Continue Until Morale Improves" shirt. I think Simón minus 185 range, minus 200 range. This is a smash spot for me. I know it again sounds square, but like huge step down for Ricky Simón, huge step up for Mario Batista. The 2 guys that Batista's faced that want to wrestle, the 3, I guess we can throw Kelleher in there.
Mm-hmm.
They all went to decision. He looked all right against Jay Perrin, who took it late. Perrin had some moments in the 3rd round of that fight too. Perrin absolutely had some moments. He had enough moments where we interviewed him. So
yeah, that's true.
Kelleher, he dominated, but like couldn't put away like a washed Brian Kelleher. And then Blackshear takes a fight after fighting the week before.
Right.
Has a lot of success early. I don't know.
That was a competitive fight for
I've
sure.
seen a couple of people on Batista where people waiting to bet him. But I don't know how Batista wins a decision. Like in this spot, Simón's cardio is awesome. I've seen Batista's like kind of look, even against Blackshear, man. Blackshear was fucking done, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Blackshear by the back end of the 2nd round, his legs were done. This is no knock on Damone Blackshear. This is the knock on fighting back-to-back weeks. You just don't have your legs. And Batista just kind of was happy to like, the one thing I'll say about Batista is his get-up game is good, but he's facing guys that don't have like the positional control that Simón has. You hope his get-up game is good, Monk.
Yes.
You want his get-up game to be good.
Yes.
To just get dropped and dropped and dropped. But I like Simón to get a late finish here. I really do. And I think just if you want to play fight doesn't go, you're getting Batista's win condition because I don't know how Batista wins a decision here. I don't.
Yeah.
If this is 15 minutes on the feet, the one weakness Simón might have is his chin. I mean, Song Yadong cracked him, knocked him down a couple times. Faber, obviously, which was like a fluke flash KO, but still, it happened. I don't know if Batista has that kind of power, but maybe Simón's chin is a liability. We don't know. We really don't know. But I think if Batista's going to win, that's how he's going to probably have to win, like a knockdown and then like a club and sub or something. That's his. I don't think he wins the decision. Simón can win a decision or Simón can get him out late. So if you want to play fight doesn't go, I think 2 of the 3 win conditions, in my mind, I'm capping it at 60, 2 out of 3 and you're getting plus money. I love it. But yeah, I like Simón. I like him quite big here. Round 3, sneaky. Don't play KO or sub. They're evenly lined. And honestly, I think the ground and pound is very live for Simón.
Mm-hmm.
Or on the feet, man. His striking is good. I like him a lot. It's just he keeps running into like guys that are like Song Yadong was on a fucking mission.
Right.
I had a bet on Simón in that fight too.
I had a lot of him in DraftKings that week, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, and Song Yadong is like what would you line Song Yadong against Batista?
Oh, God.
He's probably minus 300.
Yeah.
250.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was 300.
So anyway, yeah, I like Simón a lot, and go ahead. You got the next fight, and then this fight. So go ahead.
I'm going with Ricky Simón here, 8,600. I think this is great value. 4 points a minute, 111 points per win. Yeah, he took that L against Song Yadong, and Lou mentioned how I hope Mario Batista keeps getting up. Turns out he has the 14th fastest get up time after being taken down in the bantamweight division. I have 112 fighters in the database, and he's number 14. So yes, rinse and repeat takedowns. That is what we are looking for. If this goes to plan, like Lou said, Ricky Simone's going to score 135 fucking points, and I am here for that all day. I love watching the guy. 4 out of his last 5 fights, he has made the optimal lineup. Obviously not in the Song Yadong fight, but Jack Shore, Sun Sao, Brian Kelleher, Gaetano Perello, he made it optimal in all of those. Also, the strength of schedule is vastly different between these guys. Ricky Simone, much better, 10 points higher than Batista based on all of their UFC fights. Batista's just under average for the UFC, and Ricky Simone is well above. So we do love to see that. Like Lou said, again, big step down in competition, in my opinion, for Ricky Simone. So give me Simone to get it done. Give me Simone in cash, GPPs, any format for DraftKings. I absolutely love it. Play some Batista, though, in GPPs as well, just in case. He's only 7,600, so might as well throw him in a bit. Here we go.
We got through that whole thing. We didn't say Batista bomb once.
Batista bomb. There we go. Jim Miller. A10 Jim Miller taking on Gabriel Benitez. Minus 250 doesn't go. Yeah, exactly. I haven't pulled that one out in quite a while. The get up time. Plus 195 does go. Minus 150 for Jim Miller. 8,200 for him. 8,000 for Benitez. I am so biased. I don't even know if I should be talking about it, but I'm picking Jim Miller. I'm really nervous, though, because when this fight was announced, my heart dropped because UFC 300 is like 3 months away. Jim Miller needs to get this fight done quickly so he is fully recovered and well into, having a full training camp for UFC 300. Because if they don't put him on that fucking card, we're going to riot, Lou. But yeah, give me Jim Miller. Scores 3.5 points a minute in his last 5, 104 over his last 4 wins. Yeah, he fought Jesse Butler. What are you going to do about that? But speaking of bad opponents, Gabriel Benitez is 2-3. His only wins in his last 5, I should say 2-3 in his last 5. Charlie Ontiveros and Justin James. If you remember James, the guy that bet his entire win purse on himself and then lost and was subsequently cut from the UFC. I don't like to laugh at people's misfortune, but that is quite a misfortune. Quite a misstep on Justin James' part. Give me Jim Miller, Lou. You can't talk me out of it. But maybe you could tell me why I shouldn't put any money on Jim Miller if you think Benitez has a chance here.
Sorry, I'm responding to Magic complaining about having to see Arlovsky week 1. And I'm like, you're going to see him week 1 next year, too. That's going to be the same tweet you write next year. They'll take, who's that fucking, I forget, I know you don't watch DWCS, but like that fat fucking dude, Kevin Slafarsky or something.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
Io Machado beat like the worst fight ever. Dude, they'll sign that guy just to be like, all right, Andre. Like, because what's going to happen? Arlovsky's going to take some like fucking short notice fight. Like 3 days notice in the summer. He will. He'll be like, all right, I'll step up. And then Dana White's going to be like
Sherman back for some reason.
And then Dana White's like, all right, look, I'm going to extend you. Like, I'm just going to, all right, you all you do is do solids for us. Like, I'll extend you. Okay, so full disclosure, I'm just a Jim Miller stan, Mark, whatever you want to call it. Fucking love Jim Miller. My all-time favorites. Like, he's my type of fighter, dude. Like, that Billy Q type that we'll talk about Billy Q in a second, but like Darren Elkins, like that type of fighter where like, just let's fucking go, dude. Like never out of the fight, just a beast. Okay. So I'm Miller and Mark. Okay. Now I broke this fight down I did a show with VB. I broke down this Simone in the main event, but as a Miller fan, I have to worry about the first few minutes of this fight because Benitez has come out hot. I don't give a shit about the Ontiveros fight. That's like a free square. Fuck that. Well, here. Just hold that thought. Hold that thought, Melon. Hold that thought, bud. So he's got to worry about the first few minutes of this fight because, dude, Benitez comes out hot. Every fight, he comes out hot. He came out hot. I don't care about Ontiveros, but I wrote these numbers down the other day. Like, dude, he's had like 38 plus strikes in I think 4 of his fights, even against Onama. Like, dude he was winning that fight. Like, he won the first 3 minutes. I had Onama in the distance prop. Benitez was making me sweat. I don't care about the Ontiveros fight. Billy Q took his soul though.
Yeah.
And he looked bad. Now, Miller is just, I mean, if Miller wasn't 40, I don't know what this line is. He's a way better martial artist. The grappling edge is super pronounced. He's not going to like be chaining takedowns, but if he wants to go for one, especially against a guy that throws a lot of kicks, it'll be there. He catches one kick, I think he's going to get a takedown. I think his striking is better. His punches are better. Absolutely. His boxing's better. He's got tons of power. Miller round 2. Now he's got the sub. I just think Miller round 2 at this point is like a fucking system play. Like it's what he does, especially against a guy where I think he has to survive the first few minutes. So I would actually tell you to live bet Miller halfway through round 1. Like, because you might get like plus 300 live, like for like a flash spot. But I think after that first wave, I think Miller just puts him away and goes on to UFC 300. I think Miller round 2 plus 700 is a nice spot. Miller at distance is it's plus 130. It's not great, but I still like it. I think Benitez's chin is kind of cooked, but I think he's got 3-4 minutes of fighting him. And by the way, so Billy Q, that is my almost legendary night of DFS.
Oh yeah.
Billy Q scores. That was my last guy because I played a lot of the undercard. I had Melvin Gordon beating Figueiredo. Melvin Gordon was like 7,000 and he got like 91 points in a win. And I was like, oh, and I think he was owned by like fucking nobody.
Right.
He did like 4%. I was like, yeah, like, dude, when you hit that early, you're like,
oh, that's huge.
But as soon as you hit one of those, you're like, oh shit, I'm live, dude. Like, and you see his ownership, you're like, oh shit, I'm fucking live. And then Billy Q went out and put up like 155, got the 3rd round finish. Dude, I was in first place alone. And then Misha Tate.
Oh.
The main event, that was the Islam Moises main event. And
Okay.
I faded Islam because he was like 96. I don't know what his number was, but I'm like, I was like contrarian lineup. I'm like, look, I gotta fade him. And if it wasn't for Misha Tate putting up like 168 on randomly, maybe, I forget who, but like, dude, she like, and I'm watching that fight. She's takedown after takedown, every takedown landing like 20 strikes.
Like,
and
then, no.
I'm like, every second, she's like, it's like just the score is like, and she was owned by like fucking 12%, if that.
Right.
But
that was the first ever card I made a video for. It was the Moises Islam card, I think. Also, hear me out. Yeah, 2.5 years ago. Yeah, it was the middle of summer, like 2 years ago.
Was it that long? Or no? Was it that long ago? Wait, you and I, we weren't BFFs at that point?
No, I didn't even know who you were, Lou Betya.
Well, that's, I didn't know. I wasn't like I wasn't on. I might have been like watching Brady's videos.
Right. I was just dipping the toes in.
I must have been watching just Brady's videos with like the 1984 graphics of like, the video I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
DFS best bets, like the 10-minute one.
Right.
Like the graphics are like, so, I mean, I love it. Like it's so old school.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah. Him and Bleed.
Just Bleed.
What's up, motherfuckers? It's your boy. Dude, I love Bleed, man. He's funny as shit.
Co-main event, Manel Cop, the rematch that no one asked for. Manel Cop.
I asked for it.
You asked for it. Taking on Mateusz Nicolau. Plus 100, minus 130 fight does go. Minus 275 for Cop. Plus 235 for Nicolau. What do you think about this for UFC 300, Lou? Tag team match. Manel Cop and Charlie Radke taking on Jim Miller and Muhammad Mokaev. Winner gets to say whatever they want on the mic. Let's get it done.
Oh, Miller and Mokaev would roll these two. Dude, Charlie Radke. Radke.
Yeah, you don't remember the infamous card?
No, but like Radke is like the jobber.
Well, yeah, but they both dropped F-bombs, so that's why they have to be on the same team.
Radke would lose that, he'd lose.
Oh, yeah, big time.
So just to call back to something I said earlier on the show, the Iron Sheik just tweeted or reposted. from October 10th, 2002, and it says, "It's just another manic Monday. I wish it was beat the fuck out of Hulk Hogan day. That's my fun day." Okay, so I'm gonna shout my guy Stargarian. You know, I watch Club and Sub every week, and I know Stargarian doesn't like. He's like, I don't understand why people are on cop. He's low volume, whatever. Listen, and I this is all respect in the world to John. You know, it's my buddy. I've talked about this in this show multiple times with Manel Cop, and I feel like I'm the only capper that talks about this. His first two fights were the first two fights in his career.
Yep.
He was not wearing shoes, not wearing boots.
Nope.
Because in Ryzen, that's all he wore. His footwork wasn't right. I think that you have, and look, who did he lose to? He lost to Ankalaev in a very, very close and debatable split decision.
Mm-hmm.
And he lost to the guy that's currently the fucking champion. Okay, those are fun. Now you go to the Osborne fight, and Osborne had a lot of success early, and then he got caught. Fine. I think Cop's improving. I really do. I think he's getting more and more comfortable. He's still young, 30s, like physical peak. He knocked out Zalgas, which, like, look, man, we joke about Zalgas, and like, I know, like, his record's not great, but Zalgas doesn't get knocked out a lot.
No,
he got brutally KO'd. He didn't knock out Dvorak, didn't finish Dvorak, but he took his arm. Like, he stole his arm. His arm now belongs to Manel Cop, like fucking Beatrix and Kill Bill. His arm belongs to him. And that easily could have been stopped. And then Felipe dos Santos, I mean, dude, he tried to stop him like the whole fight. And dos Santos is on the, the good drugs from the, whatever that Brazilian camp is that what is it called? A shooter box.
Yeah.
But Cop was landing bomb after bomb after bomb. I don't like Ankalaev's chin. I think this is the show me spot for Cop, because it's supposed to be Cop and Kai Kara France, and he still wants that fight. And to him, the Kai Kara France fight is the title eliminator. So he needs to win decisively. He's going to win decisively. I think the line is crazy wide. I think it's disrespectful to Ankalaev, but I think Cop gets it done. I like in the distance, not KO. I think there could be some grappling here, but I like the Cop. I like the Cop in the distance of plus 130 here. And I do have a parlay, which I never like these. I have the Johnny K picks special. I have a parlay with Cop and the Miller fight not going the distance, and it's close to even money. I don't love those kind of plays. And I don't love those kind of plays, but like,
right.
To Mellon's point, I don't know if Cop's overrated. I do think the line has gotten like completely out of hand. I will say that. But I think as you see him more and more, his footwork's getting more and more comfortable now that he's like, it just took time. I think those first two fights you have to look at with like as an outlier. And he barely and to like Stargarian's point, and this is the important thing. This guy lost a split decision to Ankalaev in a fight he was lying closer than this, and now he's almost 3-1. Like, so I get it from a mathematical standpoint. I understand it, but I think I don't understand this fight doesn't go, because Ankalaev to me has no finish equity here. He's none, finish equity in this fight. So unless Cop hurts himself, I don't see him having finished. Or if he leaves himself wide open. But Cop's more of a counterpuncher. Like, that's the thing, is like, that's why he doesn't get finished. Is like, he's patient. But, well, yeah, I don't know, man. I think that's a Santos fight too. Yeah, I know. Well, that's how anybody does any business now in the UFC. Just talk a lot of shit and like, dude, Colby Covington's like won one fight in fucking 19 years, and he's had a myriad.
Sean Strickland got the fight because he talked shit to Izzy at the press conference before that.
Before we get to the main event, I know this is next week's show, but who you got, Strickland or DDP?
Oh, Jesus, dude. Initially, I'm leaning Strickland.
You guys in chat, who do you got for that?
I'm
fight?
leaning Strickland as of today.
Okay.
What about you?
Man, I love Duplessis. I do. But I feel like if he doesn't win that fight in the first 2 rounds, he's fucked.
Yeah.
Because he's fought through his cardio issues. And we'll talk about this more next week. He's fought through his cardio issues against low volume guys like Brunson's not throwing shit. Till wasn't throwing shit. He can fight through his cardio. Dude,
But
he's not gonna be
John
able to fight
Strickland,
against Strickland because Strickland's gonna be in
right?
his fucking face, just throwing tons of jabs. Like he's not gonna be able to like get distance. And I think Strickland could pick him apart late. But like now Strickland, I love the fucking irony of like, I love the irony of Strickland being like, I can't believe this guy fucking talks shit on me. It's like, bro, dude,
Yeah, you do it a little bit yourself.
easy, buddy, easy. Like if by the way, if you guys like DDP, I think you have to take him in the distance.
Yeah,
Because I think he loses rounds 4 and 5 at like a crazy high clip.
oh yeah,
I do. Like I think he loses rounds 4 and 5 like at a super high clip. DDP better grab. He better.
Can he get inside to do it? That's the question. He better.
Well, he better because that's his path.
No shame in that.
We'll talk more about that next
DDP
week.
is not exactly the most likable person. We'll say that for sure. At least to me.
Well, I mean,
I'm not a fan of his like personality. That doesn't stop me from liking a fighter or not. But
I don't like that. I had a pretty big bet on him to finish Whitaker, and I hated it because I love Whitaker. But like, I kind of saw how that fight was going to go, and like,
yeah,
that was a good number too. It was like a plus 250, plus 300 number for him,
right,
to do that. So,
yeah. Well, I won't slow us down.
All right, Mel and I are on the same. He thinks round 1 KO. I mean, I could see like round 1, round 2. Like, I think that's his, like, because we've seen DDP get like, because it might take him a round to be like whatever, and then round 2 is like, oh, I'm gonna go for a takedown now. Like he's dumb. But past round 2, no, I don't think he wins. Like if this thing gets out of the second round, I think Strickland 4-5 at a super high clip and 3 at I mean
65, 70.
I'm not buying this whole my nose is fixed. I have cardio now. Like I'm not buying this.
Yeah, I'll just be quick. I like Manelkop for all the same reasons. I don't know how much is he? 9K. Don't mind him for DraftKings. I'm hoping he gets a finish here over Nicolau.
What's his ownership going to be? I think this is important because it's not like he's giving you a lot of grappling equity.
I think he's going to be relatively high owned because he's so cheap compared. There's a lot of guys above him. I wouldn't be surprised to see 30%. I wouldn't be surprised.
If he's 30%, and this is where you're the expert, would you consider just going completely underweight? I mean, you got to plant your flag somewhere. Would you go underweight to the field on this one?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, probably. Probably. Because I can get sneaky with McGee if he gets an early finish, or I can just save the salary and go up for Waldo Cortez or even John Silva if I really was feeling frisky. But yeah, I think so. I think that's perfectly, and I think he will be around 30%, man. I think a lot of people are on the Manelkop, like I said, has talked his way kind of into a do it now or look like a fool type of position. And he's got to get a win. Like the chat said, like you've said, he's got to get the win here. So I just don't see, I mean, even in he's barely scoring 100 points a win, 91-71 against Dvorak. The only reason his number is so high is because he put up 131 against Zalgas. So yeah, I think I think it's a good fade. Easy. I think I agree. No, I love fadeable. I'm about to get fadeable after this show for sure. Nice. Wangro. Oh, speaking of Wangro, dude, do you know this? I assume you don't because you would have said it already. Supposedly, Heat 2 has begun production.
Yeah, why?
What do you mean why? What do you mean why? Because Michael Mann's 90 years old and making.
But I mean, like, what are they going to?
Like,
I mean, like, were there unanswered questions? Like, do we need a continuation?
Okay, so maybe it's still a rumor. It's still a rumor.
Sons, and it's the same. You know what movie? You know what movie's been rumored for fucking 10 years that I've been waiting for? District 10. You ever see District 9?
Yeah.
Did you not like District 9?
Of course, it was great.
But dude, then they all went off and did their fucking other projects, like, and then Sharlto Copley became like a fucking weird star doing all these fucking weird bad movies, like A-Team remake. Dude, I need District 10
remake.
And you're talking about by the way, that's a movie that had a lot of unanswered questions. It literally was ended with like, here's the invasion, and our fucking hero is a prawn, and like he's waiting for Christopher Johnson to come back. It's literally set up. Now we gotta wait fucking 15 years. It's bullshit. Side note, this season.
Why are you so concerned about what I read or what I do?
Side note, this season of Fargo is fucking fire, dude.
I haven't started it yet. That's what I'm gonna do after I finish The Curse. I'm gonna watch Fargo.
You've never watched any season?
No, I've seen one. Which season is this? 4 or 5? I've seen 1, 2, and 3.
4 was terrible. Don't bother with 4.
I didn't see
Chris
4.
Rock. Yet. I love Chris Rock.
Oh no, I watched half of that one. I didn't see 3.
It's awful. 3 was awesome. 3 was great. 1 tremendous. 2 sucked. And then 4 was awful. But this season, it's John Hamm as like the big bad.
That's what I heard.
It's so good, dude. But it's been really fucking good. This season's been really fucking good, dude.
Dude, Beetlejuice 2's coming out. Supposedly it's like a prequel. How stupid is that? It could be interesting, I guess.
Less juicy.
More juice.
I know Easy's in the chat. The only juice that matters is Juventud Guerrera.
Oh, that's a name I remember him. All black with the white mask, the black and white mask. He was one of my favorites.
He used to imitate The Rock. He was called the Juice. He'd be like, finally, the juicy one has come back to how you say this town. And they just put the shit out of it. And he had no mic skills. He'd be like, that's right. I am the juicy one. I dropped the juicy elbow. I am the juice. It's like, this is awful, dude.
Oh.
Because The Rock one time said,
wow.
Because The Rock one time said to Jericho, should I be impressed that one time you beat Juventud Guerrera?
Juventud. I have not heard that name in 25 fucking years, man.
Let's get to the main event. We can talk about this after. We'll talk about Fargo after the show. Juno Temple. See, Green King knows. It's great fucking season, dude.
I don't know what that is. Is that a show? Juno Temple?
Juno Temple she was in the fucking soccer. Why can't I think of the goddamn Ted Lasso?
She's in. Okay, that's a person. Okay, gotcha.
But she's the heroine, and John Hamm's the bad guy, and there's some other weird shit going on with this other hitman. It's so good, dude. The season's really fucking good.
I might just start it tonight. Fuck it. I'll finish The Curse later. The Curse, dude. That's oof. Is
that Emma Stone?
Yeah, and Nathan Fielder.
Is it funny?
I
thought it was a comedy.
Watched the first half. It's not a comedy. I mean, in a way, it's a comedy, I guess. Right. But you
watch Fargo and I'll watch
interesting.
That.
All right,
you watch Fargo and I'll watch.
And then we'll talk about it after. That's our next show, guys. Monk and Lou does TV or something.
Here's my 10-1 prop coming up. So go ahead.
There we go. Here, we'll finish it out strong. We already talked about this once. Smogaman Ankalaev, Johnny Walker, -500 doesn't go, +350 does. Huge odds for Ankalaev, probably deserved. -550, +400 for Walker. And Ankalaev, third most expensive fighter on the card. I will start. I'm picking Ankalaev. I'm not going to be playing. See, this is where it gets tough for me. Initially, I'm not playing Ankalaev. He doesn't even score 3 points a minute. 84 points a win. That is not good, at least in his last 5. In his UFC career, it's 94 points per win, and he has been in more than a few 5-round fights. The problem is Johnny Walker. What's going to happen here? If he had a time machine, we talked about this on Wednesday, and he could go back to being more unpredictable, I would have much more faith in him. I love him as a punt play. I mean, more than a punt play. And I wouldn't play Ankalaev so much, but man, his chin, super suspect. I mean, that Jamal Hill knockout, I believe, was it Jamal? No, who was? Yeah, it was Jamal Hill knockout. That was
where like
weird.
the meme.
Be like, boing. It's like somebody needs to put a boing in there, just like the skateboard for Shogun. But yeah, if it was like that, I'd have more faith in Walker. But man, initially, I think this one goes to decision, and nobody scores well, and it's a dog shit fight for DraftKings. But how much of a percent do you give Ankalaev, say, beat Johnny Walker in the first round? What percentage is that? Because I don't know how much to put Ankalaev in my rosters here. I'm going to use Walker as a punt play because he's $6,800, and he has that path to victory, the crazy bonk path. It's not a very big path. It's very narrow. But what do you put Ankalaev at? Because I don't know what to do here. Initially, like I said, I want to fade him. Can you tell me why I shouldn't fade him?
Yeah. So fucking Melon stealing.
Right.
Melon keeps stealing my thunder here. What did we talk about before the show? Now, I didn't do the round.
Body cam videos.
But I didn't say the rounds, but I did tell you. Oh, now he shows up. All I did was promote.
It's the big show.
All I did was promote Steve Shorty's his new YouTube channel. Did I not talk about this prop?
We need to hear the glass break when Steve comes in. Yeah, you did. You did.
So what did we learn from like a 3-minute fight? Okay. I learned 2 things from that fight. And they both play into the sub prop here.
Mm-hmm.
Walker landed 9 out of 10 leg kicks.
Right.
That's all it said. Dude, every leg kick he landed bothered Ankalaev. I think he checked maybe the last one. But Walker was landing powerful leg kicks. And every time he landed a leg kick, he left himself wide open. Eventually, Ankalaev hit him in the body. And then Walker did the whole I'm hurt and then the jump knee. But it doesn't matter because Ankalaev got it to the ground. And Walker had nothing on the ground. I get it. We're going off like a very, very short sample size here. But what I liked is it's against the cage, and it was Ankalaev, had his arm around his neck, just working the back, punching, working to go to the back, punching, working to go to the back. Okay. Well, knowing he's been bothered by leg kicks 2 fights in a row now, Jan and now Walker, who's to say Ankalaev doesn't want to put this on the ground immediately? And if he's going to put this on the ground, dude, I know Walker subbed fucking Kudiyaba, who stinks.
Right.
But like Walker's a bum now because Walker lost his one thing that like made him cool. Exactly. The whole unpredictability. Now he's just a dude who I swear people cap from years ago. And we see this all the time in the community, dude. They look at these guys, he was so good. It's like people like Brett Favre, man. People that were betting on Brett Favre like his last 5 years. It's like, dude, you know all he does is throw interceptions, right? Mm-hmm. They're like, nah, he's a gunslinger. I'm like, he's a gunslinger because throws interceptions.
And now his shoulder's fucked up and his aim's off and he's not hitting
people
those
just like, nah, we're
betting
Favre. And I feel like people betting Walker, they're like, nah, man, he's got such powers, explosive. Dude, Walker couldn't finish Anthony Smith.
Right.
I mean, and Walker, like, look, he showed I'm working on some ground stuff. I feel like Walker's one of these dudes, like, he works on something twice and he's like, all right, yeah, and I'm good. Dude, Ankalaev, like, who bores the shit out of me.
Jab, takedown, win.
I think Ankalaev's camp is going to look at this and be like, dude, catch a leg kick and take him on the ground.
Immediately.
Or just catch a leg kick and hit him in the body again. But I think this fight goes to the ground. And we saw it. Ankalaev was actively hunting to get his arm around Walker's throat. Ankalaev sub plus 1050 just as is. I don't need the round 2. I don't need the round 3. I mean, I love it. 45 to 1 round.
45 to 1. Oof.
I mean, I may have to just spew something on the round 2 and round 3 here. I actually think he just does it in round 1. I think he just chokes him out immediately. But plus 1050. And then I like Ankalaev round 1, round 2, just no method is minus 107. I really think he fucks him up. I think Ankalaev.
Yeah, I think so too.
Can look at, and by the way, I know I get how it went, but dude, he was going to beat his ass in the next few minutes. Like he got that fight on the ground. Walker was done, dude. Like Walker was fucking done.
You got to
play. The second hit the ground. The one thing we don't know is did the body shot really hurt Walker? Was he playing possum? Yeah, I think it hurt him. And he just
hurt him for a second, and he tried to use it as a thing to play possum.
But that was a perfect shot to like the solar plexus. So I don't know, dude.
Yeah,
I think it's an interesting angle. But the round 1, round 2 minus 107 is like for a huge favorite against the guy who is a bum.
Yep.
Like, dude, I don't even know why they're running this fight back, man.
I know. Well, Ankalaev didn't even want to, if you remember. For obvious reasons, because it was a fucking mauling, basically, once it got to the ground. So,
but I mean, no, he does because this is just another delay on him getting a title shot.
Well, and it's been happening like you said, with the draw, then with the no contest. It's like,
look,
dude,
I don't
how
love
long?
I don't love Ankalaev. Okay, I recognize his skill set. I don't love Ankalaev, but literally he has nothing to gain here,
Right.
unless he just like 2 minutes crushes him, dude. If he submits Walker or he gets Walker out in like the 4th round as a minus 550 favorite, it's not like fucking
That's a
impressive.
nothing. No.
Like Ankalaev's got to be careful because if he has these boring fights, he's going to end up being a dude who's always fighting like the guy who's ranked 5th, the guy who's ranked 6th. Like,
yep.
So,
do you think he's gonna? How do you think he fares against Pereira?
I mean, I've always said anybody that can wrestle Pereira is gonna just crush him. I've just never been impressed. I think they've given him all like I don't know why Blachowicz didn't try to grapple.
Yeah, that was weird.
But like
maybe he knew he was gonna get tired or something.
Like, could my boy Bo Nickel move up to 205? He'd wreck him. Bo Nickel would beat him right now in 1 round. Because this fight would be in the ground in 10 seconds and he'd fuck him up.
Make him humble.
I mean, if Khamzat didn't have all this fucking injury shit and I like Khamzat, man. I really do. I like watching Khamzat fight. He's just fucking awesome. But he's obviously got something wrong with him physically.
Right.
Khamzat at 205 against Pereira. I think Khamzat runs him over, dude. I really do. I just think Pereira and Pereira's going to improve. Like, don't get me wrong. He's still young enough and he's going to improve. And like all he's working on is takedown. I get it. But there's levels to this game when you got guys that are like have elite top control. And
for years.
And I think a guy like Khamzat could like just absolutely choke him out in like 2 minutes.
I can't wait.
It doesn't mean he's that much more dominant than Pereira. Let me make that very clear. It just means there's one hole in his game that Khamzat is just expertly equipped to exploit. Mm-hmm. And Bo Nickel more than Bo Nickel more, but we'll get there.
We did, and we got there. We are at the end, Lou. All 12 fights. We are back. UFC Vegas 84. I've got nothing going on, nothing else this week. I've taken an extended break from making content just to put all of this data in. It's going to take me another few weeks, but once I am back, I will be back with a vengeance, doing all kinds of stuff. So until then, just follow me on Twitter and be sure to check out Lou. Where can they find you, Lou? What do you got going on? Any other shows this week? And are you in love with Cody Brundage?
Well, it's my boy.
It's a bromance. Come on now.
Oh, Melon missed the first few minutes of the show. I said, like, we're gonna have a countdown clock for Cody versus Bo because they're for the Sophie's Choice. They're making me fucking choose between these guys. I'll just say this outright right now. I am greatly reducing my content schedule. I didn't even do a prop show this week. I'm gonna probably do one next week because it's Paul Shaughnessy. This is the makeup show with Paul. It's a pay-per-view.
Nice.
I'm not really doing guest spots anymore. To be honest, I don't love doing content. I like doing a show with you, Monk. And then we have a show about fights, and that's awesome. And I like our crew. I just I don't know, man. I don't make money doing this. I got a new job position that's possible for me that's going to take all my time away. And I'll still do this because you're not listening to my picks. You're only here for me to like fucking talk about Fargo and jokes and shit. So like
exactly.
But we'll see. We'll see what my content. I mean, but I'm not like doing the days of me doing like fucking 9-10 pods a week are over. Like I'll do a special spot here and there. Like if Pat comes back, if I take the combat, you know, like I talk to Pat here and there. Like he's working, dude. He's killing it. If Pat comes back and wants to do a show, I'll obviously do a fucking show with my boy. Like there's certain spots I would obviously do. But like, I'm not doing like any of this other fucking shit. Like, I'm just keeping it like as chill as like I'm not even tweeting a lot anymore, dude.
That's the best way to do it. Just keep it light, get in where you want and pick your spots. And
well, like, I mean,
not overextending yourself.
I'm not gonna like expand on it right now. This is for another time. But like, all you guys that watch the show are probably on Twitter, and like, there's a lot of people on Twitter where it's very like, you know, they'll post a pic and be like, well, check out my pod or my Discord. Everything's a business now. And I grew up in a world gambling, you know, in the early 2000s where this is a solo sport and I wanted to win money. And it wasn't about like impressing people at the bar or like impressing my friends or anything. It was like, cool, I won money. And that's all it ever was. And that's all it's ever, as Trick Williams would say, I know he's still in chat, as our boy Trick Williams would say, that's all it is. That's all it's going to be. So for me, this whole, I won 1 out of 5 bets, go check my Discord, or I'm killing it in NFL, but I never post reasons because I just steal picks, but I post them in my Discord. Like, I just don't like this. It's not a world I like being in. It's kind of made me sour toward Twitter because it's just getting worse and worse and worse. So I just use Twitter to talk to my friends. Look, I'm always available DMs. Like, Easy knows. Easy definitely knows. He fucking writes me, dude. He writes me to be like, this fucking dude's an asshole about like random soccer guys. Dude, I'm accessible. I'm still a personality. I'll still be tweeting during fights. Like, but I'm just saying in terms of like the whole, I'm not like selling a product. I just like doing the show. And I've never asked for a penny. I never want a penny. Monk, give me $50.
That's Venmo, baby.
I've never asked for a penny from the chat. Monk, give me $50. I got a 9-leg first half over 1.5 soccer parlay I need to put in. It's a lock.
It's a lock.
Tambor, Dordrecht, Top Os, just naming all the teams. I'm gonna parlay it with Idaho air hockey.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Oh, you guys are missing out if you're not watching that. Let's get us out of here, guys. Enjoy the fights. Enjoy the fights this weekend. I think, according to Lou, 3 p.m. Central Start Time, 4 p.m. Eastern, I believe. Hoovy, exactly. Yes, that's where. Yes,
not AKI Man. Dude, AKI Man was in that game.
Yeah,
he was like unbeatable, dude.
I didn't know who he was, so I called him Aki Man.
And
but Juventud, Jesus, that brought me back just now. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, guys, as usual, we want all of you to enjoy the fight. So enjoy, and we will see you in the next one.